Once again, welcome here to a Money edition of Liquid Lunch. I'm Fernando Uribe, guest hosting here for John Tobacco. Folks, you can also check me out later on tonight live on Real Talk with Fernando Uribe via EisenNJ at www.eisenandj.org. And you'll see me there live. We've been having some trouble streaming the Facebook, the episode 2 Facebook as we're doing the show live. As you can see it behind me, just do a simple Google search. Like the pages, of course, on Facebook and follow it on Instagram and Twitter. And you'll enjoy tonight's episode with New Jersey State Senator Michael Doherty, who joins me live later on this evening. But here on Facebook and on Biz TV, we're going strong until 2 p.m. here today on Liquid Lunch. When are we back, Ava? Oh, okay, cool. All right, hey, everybody, hi, how are you? Welcome. Again, it's a Monday edition here on Liquid Lunch. I'm Fernando Uribe, filling in for the great John Tobacco. He's out, not necessarily on assignment, but he should be joining us hopefully later in the show as he's being a strong advocate out in Staten Island. But joining me here today on this great lineup on a Monday is Miss Leah Vukmir. She is the Vice President at the National Taxpayers Union, the NTU, and certainly a lot to talk about in today's economic climate here with the new presidency. Leah, how are you? Welcome to Liquid Lunch.
Thank you so much, Fernando. Happy to be here.
Great. Leah, let's get right to it. I mean, before we get to the organization overall, we know that with a new transition here, obviously the 46th president, it's becoming abundantly clear that President Joe Biden will, A, be looking to do a lot of the tax policies that the 45th president had implemented and might just start making it a little more expensive to live here in the United States on a variety of different reasons. What concerns you the most about the new presidency, specifically as it pertains to tax policy?
Oh, absolutely. I believe this president is setting himself out to be the Papa-in-Chief instead of Commander-in-Chief, and he's starting that out right away with his stimulus bill, the stimulus plan, which is too big. The ink hasn't even set dry on the bill that was put forth in December, and already we're planning on giving families another $1,400 without any checks and balances to know whether or not that money is really going to people in need. Look, Fernando, we all know people who have been hurt, devastated by this pandemic, but we also have to make sure that we are providing relief that is targeted and that it's temporary and that it doesn't continue, or else we will certainly have dire problems down the road. And you asked the question, what is it going to cost? National Taxpayers Union Foundation has estimated that the average family, it's going to cost them $10,000 a year. So here, let's give you $1,400 now. But by the end of the year, we're going to take that back plus another $8,600. Makes no sense.
Leah, let me ask you this, because there's been some, outcries, and even going back into 2019 and early 2020 during the height of the campaign season, when many in the Democratic Party were advocating for universal basic income. Not so much, obviously, the pandemic has really complicated things for millions of Americans. But there's still some on the left who, along economic lines, would say, well, it's possible because other countries have tried to do this and have engaged in sort of a universal basic income. It seems like the federal government is bloated with how much sort of wasteful spending there tends to be. But many advocates are still sort of pushing, and I think many on the left are trying to push the president to go for a universal basic income. Why is that? I mean, I know why it's harmful, but how can you best explain to our audience about potentially how catastrophic this could be?
Well, it's just so anti-American. It flies in the face of everything that we believe in as Americans. It's not how our founding fathers envisioned our country to move forward. And, look, we believe that individuals who are job creators, they invest in economy, they create the jobs that creates prosperity, not only for them, but for the people that work for them. And that creates competition. And that's the best way for individuals to move ahead. Instead of calls, as Biden has, for this $15 minimum wage, this is going to wipe out industries right now that have been severely affected by this pandemic. The hospitality industry comes to mind. A lot of the bigger operations, sure, they'll be fine. They say, I'm already doing $15 an hour. But what about the small mom and pops in the rural area and the small mom and pops all over who are going to find themselves in a position where they're not going to be able to afford the people to work for them. They're not like the chains who can automate. And I don't know about you, Fernando, but I don't want to go to a kiosk and order my food. I kind of like having somebody coming to my table and waiting on me and enjoying a leisurely dinner out.
I agree with you on that. And one of the things I've talked about here on the show, on my show here in New Jersey, is incrementally we've seen Governor Phil Murphy, along with the legislature back in 2018, sign a bill where it increased the minimum wage in New Jersey to $15 an hour. Now, ultimately, that would not take effect until 2024. It's been small increments. I believe it's now like 11 and change, if not $12 exactly, as of January 1st of this year. But listen, you're preaching to the choir with me, because I've seen firsthand, having worked in hospitality and nightlife during grad school, for example, I saw how that, could be, very harmful to some of these businesses. And we're seeing it here in New Jersey. Listen, whether it's Amazon or Walmart, that's all well and great. Jeff Bezos and the people at Walmart, hey, they might not feel the hit in the pocket. But to your point about small business owners, the mom and pop stores that sometimes have become staples of the community in cities and municipalities all across the state or all across the country, they're the ones that are going to see the biggest hit when it comes to the minimum wage. Leah, let me ask you this also as well, because many of our viewers today may not be aware or familiar with the National Taxpayer Union. How did you get involved with it, and what has been the outreach thus far?
Happy to be a part of National Taxpayers Union. We're the oldest taxpayer advocacy group in the country. I guess you could call us the taxpayers lobbyists. We look out for the little guy. I am a former state senator from the great state of Wisconsin, so I have a vast experience of getting things done in the state of Wisconsin. And one of my primary roles at National Taxpayers Union is talking to lawmakers across the country and encouraging them to support economic policies that are free market in approach, economic policies that embrace smaller, limited government. And we have a group that does that on the federal side as well. And we put out great information, research, both our National Taxpayers Union and our National Taxpayers Union Foundation. You can find us at NTU.org, and we're a great resource to help people make right decisions and to influence lawmakers both at the state and federal level.
Leah, what recourse do you think that taxpayers like ourselves are going to have in these next 4 years under a new president, under obviously a democratically controlled federal legislature, both in the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate? Do you feel taxpayers are going to have any recourse, or is it pretty much going to have to, coming out in full swing in 2022 during midterm elections and maybe voting some of these incumbents out where, they're just not engaging in A, responsible spending, and B, responsible tax policy?
Well, obviously, at the federal level, it's such a tight majority, so that does give me some cause for hope, because it's going to be very difficult to get the left wing's agenda through. But on a positive note, at the state level, vast majority of the states are led by GOP governors and legislatures. And if anything, this past election has now put the highlight on these states because they are in a position to push back. I mean, let's face it, I was in Wisconsin legislature when the Medicaid expansion was coming through, and it was here, take this quote unquote free money. We all know there's no such thing as free money. States were in a position, and Wisconsin was one of those, that said, no, we're not going to take that. Why? Because the federal government always oversells, overpromises and undersells. And so states that did take that Medicaid expansion money have holes in their budgets. Wisconsin did not as a result of that. So I think there is some cause for hope, but it does mean that state lawmakers around the country really need to exert that founding principle of ours, and that is federalism. We are in the states, have the most power and authority that was granted to take care of the individuals in our own state. And, as we know, the government that's closest to the people, that is the government that is the most responsive to the people, or it should be.
Well, Leah, listen, you are a wealth of information, and we certainly appreciate your insight today. Best of luck, certainly, with what you're doing with the National Taxpayer Union. And we'll talk to you again here on Liquid Lunch. Keep up the good fight, and certainly keep up with the great dissemination of information, because God knows our country needs it now more than ever. Thank you so much, Leah.
Thank you, Fernando.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're coming up at 15 minutes past the hour here, on the East Coast. Don't change the dial here. It's Fernando Uribe filling in for the great John Tobacco here on A Liquid Lunch on a Monday. We'll be right back after these words.